Do you fear death?
Sometimes.
What makes you scared about death?
Not being with those I love.
I've run out of questions.
Do you fear death?
Do I fear death? I feel like I a little bit fear death. You know, actually, okay, so one time, like, a man on a street asked me, "Are you saved?" And I said, "I think so." And he did not like that. He was like, "Well, I can just give you assurance right here and now that you're saved. Just say this prayer." And we said that prayer together, and I was like, I did not feel better after it.
And I think I'd like to amend my answer about what do I fear about death. When I said not being with those that I love, it's really being there for those that I love.
That, like, when you're gone, you won't be able to care for those that you love.
Correct. That's it.
That's showbiz, baby. Well, the playback needs to be here.
Philip Glass. Father Ethan.
Hi.
What are our questions about death?
I have no questions about death. I only have answers.
Well, that makes one of us. Why did we just accost the delightful Barbara Miller Richards about death?
Because we knew that she could handle it. Also because we are on death's doorstep, so to speak, with the impending, or perhaps as you're watching, already happened celebration of Ash Wednesday, which is the very beginning of Lent, which is, among other things, the day that we acknowledge our own mortality.
We acknowledge it for other people publicly by smearing ashes on our foreheads and reminding everyone else that they are also mortal.
Father Will, why does it matter that we talk about death?
Because it's a reality. Because we die. And I think in the church, at our best, we are a place where we can talk about the parts of human life that are hard and challenging that other parts of our lives try to ignore. So much of our culture is about getting away from death or escaping it or not talking about it. I mean, think about how cordoned off hospitals are, how distant our elderly are from us. And Ash Wednesday is a day to simply acknowledge what is true, which is that our lives are finite.
That sounds like a true bummer. And I feel like church should be a place that is positive, a place that is uplifting. Why would we want to bring a bummer into our space?
Because life is a bummer. No.
Isn't it? Isn't it?
It is in a way, though. And I think one of the great gifts of the church is that at any given morning, there are people for whom in our congregation, like, life is an incredible bummer. And there are also people in our congregation for whom life is really, really lovely. And church is where we bring all of that together. And so as we begin our journey into Lent, into this time of grappling with the reality that we live in, not what we would prefer to live in, we always do that anticipating Easter, right? Because what's coming at the end of Lent is the ultimate reminder that though we die, death is not all there is. Death is not the end. Death is conquered.
I do feel like it is important for me, both as a person and also as a clergy person, to always be making space for like whoever's having the hardest time in the room. I think we talk a lot about how if we utilize the language of salvation and savedness in the life of the church, then that implies that there is something that we are being saved from. And I think sometimes, for me too, it's really easy to get to a place where Christianity and my faith is about positivity and looking on the bright side and silver linings. And sometimes that isn't enough. And sometimes it's important just to make a little clearing, to say, you know, it's been a really hard year. It's been a really hard month. Or something really hard has happened to you or to us or to this group of people that we care about. And to be able to let that be the center of our attention for a time. And I think Ash Wednesday, for me, feels like one of the very few instances in sort of the liturgical life cycle of our church where we really get to foreground the fact that things are hard, and that in the midst of them being hard, God is also with us, and God can help make things okay. But it means that we get to acknowledge that things are not okay first in order for that to be true. Well, I think we did it. We solved death. Do you have any final words for us? No. Well, amen.